The moment whispers of a DNA bombshell connected to Meghan Markle began circulating, the temperature inside Buckingham Palace didn't just rise, it shifted into something colder, sharper, and far more strategic. Because this wasn't merely another tabloid flare-up about royal tension, this was a rumor that touched the one thing the monarchy protects above reputation, above popularity, above personal disputes, the bloodline. And when the words DNA and royal audit started appearing in the same sentence as Meghan Markle, insiders say the palace did not respond with outrage or denial, it responded with lawyers. Behind those carved doors and polished corridors, the palace legal machinery is said to have moved swiftly, quietly, and with the kind of coordination that only happens when senior figures believe something potentially destabilizing is about to spiral beyond gossip and into constitutional territory. Now let's be clear from the beginning. There is no verified public evidence confirming any official DNA dispute involving Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, Prince William, or their children. The serious allegations being whispered remain unclear, unproven, and rooted largely in online speculation rather than confirmed documentation. But in royal politics, perception alone can be enough to trigger containment. The rumor, as it spread across social media and fringe commentary circles, suggested that Meghan Markle had either alluded to or possessed some form of genetic information tied to royal lineage that could allegedly shift narratives about succession, blood legitimacy, or historical family truths. The language was dramatic, almost cinematic. Bloodline audit, line of succession review, confidential DNA file. None of it substantiated, yet potent enough to provoke questions that the monarchy historically refuses to entertain publicly. That Prince William, as heir to the throne, sits at the center of anything even remotely touching hereditary legitimacy. And insiders claim that once his name began trending alongside phrases like DNA revelation and royal verification, senior advisors did not dismiss it as harmless chatter. They treated it as reputational risk management. Not because the claims were proven, but because the monarchy understands something better than anyone. Once doubt enters the bloodstream of public opinion, it does not leave quietly. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have long positioned themselves outside the core institutional structure since stepping back as senior working royals, yet their connection to the royal lineage remains undeniable through their children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. That is precisely why rumors invoking genetic validation, whether fair or reckless, carry symbolic weight. A monarchy survives on continuity. Continuity rests on legitimacy. Legitimacy rests on blood. Sources close to palace operations describe a series of internal consultations that reportedly unfolded within days of the rumor intensifying. Legal advisors, communication strategists, and constitutional consultants allegedly convened not to confirm any DNA claim, but to assess whether silence, rebuttal, or quiet documentation would best contain the narrative. And here is where the tension deepens. Silence in royal strategy is rarely passive. It is calculated that Prince William, according to insiders, did not publicly address the speculation. He did not validate it. He did not deny it. But those familiar with his leadership style say that his priority remains institutional protection above emotional reaction. Catherine, Princess of Wales, similarly remained publicly composed, continuing official duties without deviation. The message was subtle but unmistakable. The monarchy will not legitimize rumor through reaction. Yet, behind the scenes, legal experts reportedly evaluated potential defamation implications, digital misinformation tracking, and succession protocol documentation. Not because a bloodline audit was confirmed, but because the idea of one gaining traction could erode confidence in royal stability. The palace has weathered scandals before, abdications, divorces, televised interviews, but questioning lineage touches a deeper nerve. It is important to underscore again that there is no verified public evidence of Meghan Markle presenting any DNA findings or demanding any formal audit. The serious allegations circulating remain unclear, largely amplified by speculative commentary rather than established reporting. However, in an era where narrative can travel faster than fact, the palace does not wait for confirmation to prepare its defense. Prince Harry's own history with paternity rumors, particularly long-standing tabloid speculation comparing him to James Hewitt, offers a cautionary blueprint. Those claims were widely dismissed and have never been substantiated by credible evidence, yet they persisted for years because repetition can mimic legitimacy. The institution learned from that chapter. This time, insiders suggest they moved preemptively. What makes this moment combustible is not proof, but proximity. Meghan Markle, already perceived by critics as disruptive to royal tradition, is being loosely associated with a rumor that symbolically challenges hereditary structure. Whether she intended to or not, and again, there is no verified confirmation she did, her name became attached to a storyline that suggests internal royal verification. That meanwhile, Prince William's camp is said to view the matter less as personal conflict and more as institutional safeguarding. Advisors allegedly emphasize that responding emotionally would grant oxygen to speculation. Instead, reinforcing procedural clarity behind closed doors would ensure continuity remains unquestioned. It is a classic palace maneuver: deal with structure privately, project steadiness publicly. Catherine's role, though quieter, is equally strategic. As future queen consort, her alignment with stability reinforces William's approach. Public appearances remain measured, no deviation, no cryptic commentary. The calm itself becomes the rebuttal. And Meghan Markle? Publicly, there has been no direct acknowledgement of any DNA narrative from her side. No press conference, no documentation, no explicit claim. That silence leaves room for interpretation, which is precisely what fuels gossip cycles. In absence of confirmation, imagination expands. What lingers now is the phrase bloodline audit, a phrase heavy enough to shake public imagination, yet currently anchored in ambiguity. The palace legal team's activation, whether defensive or precautionary, signals awareness of reputational stakes. Even unverified allegations, when tied to succession, demand quiet preparation. Because monarchy is not simply ceremony, it is symbolism codified into constitutional structure. If people begin questioning lineage, even without proof, confidence trembles. And confidence is the crown's invisible foundation. As this saga simmers, the most powerful move so far has been restraint. Prince William stands firm in institutional posture. Catherine maintains composure. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle remain publicly silent on the matter. And the palace legal apparatus reportedly watches, evaluates, and prepares. The truth behind the so-called DNA bombshell remains unclear. The serious allegations have not been substantiated by credible public evidence. But the ripple effect of the rumor alone has exposed how fragile public perception can be when words like audit and bloodline collide with modern media velocity. And this may not be the end of the story, because once the idea of verification enters public conversation, it rarely disappears without consequence. Whether this remains rumor or evolves into something larger will depend not on emotion, but on strategy. What makes this situation even more volatile is not what has been proven, but what people are willing to believe when the word "nah" gets attached to royalty, because the monarchy has always operated on a foundation that is both visible and invisible at the same time. Visible in crowns, ceremonies, and titles, invisible in bloodlines, ancestry charts, and centuries of inherited legitimacy. And once even a whisper suggests that something genetic could be questioned, re-examined, or weaponized, the emotional reaction is immediate, even if the factual basis is uncertain. The serious allegations being discussed remain unclear and unverified, and there is no official confirmation that Meghan Markle has presented or threatened to present any form of genetic evidence related to royal lineage, but the mere framing of such a possibility has created a psychological tremor that the palace cannot afford to ignore. Inside royal strategy circles, succession is sacred mathematics. Prince William stands directly in line to inherit the throne after King Charles III, and his children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, represent the next chapter of constitutional continuity. Prince Harry, though further down the line, remains part of that hereditary chain, and his children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, are legally recognized within the line of succession as well. That legal clarity is documented, structured, and publicly recorded. Yet rumors operate outside documentation. They thrive in ambiguity. They expand where silence exists. According to insiders familiar with palace protocol, the legal team's activation was less about proving or disproving anything genetic and more about reinforcing structural certainty. Constitutional experts were reportedly consulted to review succession law, digital misinformation tracking intensified around key narratives, and advisory teams monitored the amplification of bloodline-related speculation across global platforms. This was not panic. It was containment. The monarchy learned long ago that perception, once destabilized, requires reinforcement before it erodes trust. What complicates matters is Meghan Markle's complex relationship with the institution itself. Since stepping back as a senior working royal alongside Prince Harry, she has been positioned, fairly or unfairly, as a disruptor of tradition. Interviews, documentaries, and memoir revelations have already reshaped public opinion around palace culture, race, media treatment, and institutional rigidity. Critics argue she challenges the monarchy's myth. Supporters supporters argue she exposed its flaws. Either way, her association with any rumor about lineage immediately inflames both camps. That Prince William's reaction, according to those close to his circle, has been methodical rather than emotional. There has been no public condemnation of Meghan, no personal retaliation, no visible escalation. Instead, the emphasis reportedly remains on stability. William understands that responding publicly to unverified DNA speculation would grant it legitimacy. By refusing to engage directly, he avoids validating the premise altogether. That refusal itself becomes strategy. Catherine, Princess of Wales, mirrors that approach with precision. Her public presence remains focused on health initiatives, children's welfare campaigns, and community appearances. No deviation, no coded messaging. That composure reinforces an image of continuity. The monarchy, through her, projects endurance rather than reaction. Meanwhile, Prince Harry finds himself in a uniquely complicated position. His own history with tabloid paternity rumors, comparing his appearance to former cavalry officer James Hewitt, created a template for how damaging genetic speculation can be. Those rumors were widely dismissed and lacked credible substantiation, yet they circulated for decades. If anyone understands the corrosive nature of DNA insinuation, it would be him. That historical context intensifies the irony of current whispers, even though no confirmed DNA claims have been presented by him or Meghan in this situation. That public reaction remains sharply divided. Some observers dismiss the entire controversy as fabricated online sensationalism. Others insist that where there is smoke, there must be fire. The truth, at least publicly available truth, remains anchored in ambiguity. There has been no official announcement of a bloodline audit, no royal decree, no genetic verification process acknowledged by the Crown. The serious allegations remain unclear and unsupported by verified documentation, but what this episode reveals is something deeper than proof. It exposes how modern monarchy exists at the intersection of medieval inheritance and digital rumor culture. In centuries past, blood legitimacy could be shielded by limited communication. Today, a viral post can travel across continents in minutes, reframing perception faster than official institutions can respond. The palace legal team's reported involvement reflects an understanding that silence alone is not enough in the digital era. Internal reinforcement must accompany external composure, that there are also constitutional implications to consider. The British monarchy operates under clear succession laws established by Parliament. Any formal alteration to lineage recognition would require legal procedure, not rumor. That fact alone serves as a stabilizing anchor. No social media narrative can override constitutional law. Still, reputational stability matters almost as much as legal structure, and that is where the palace's vigilance becomes significant. That Meghan Markle's silence continues to invite speculation. If she had truly presented or threatened to present genetic documentation, one might expect visible escalation. None has occurred publicly. That absence suggests either that the rumor is inflated beyond reality or that strategic quiet benefits all parties involved. Without confirmation, the narrative floats in uncertainty. Because in the royal world, blood is more than biology. It is symbolism. It is identity. It is constitutional inheritance wrapped in tradition. And when the word DNA enters that space, even as rumor, it forces the institution to tighten its grip on legitimacy. Whether this narrative dissolves as another digital exaggeration or evolves into a more concrete confrontation remains to be seen. But one truth is undeniable: the monarchy does not gamble with lineage. If there is even a hint of destabilization, it prepares quietly, thoroughly, and without spectacle. The Crown does not react loudly. It fortifies silently. And in this unfolding drama, that silence speaks louder than any allegation ever could.